Hey, Donald Miller here. So we're on the Perkasie Rewire, and we found out a little bit more information about this house. So the house was flipped between 2005 and 2007. During this time period, around here, houses were being flipped left and right by everyone and their grandmother. Okay, anyone could basically buy a house and try to flip it, and the real estate value would increase in the time period they're flipping it. All right, and '07 is perfect. That's like right at the peak of it, right before it all crashed, and it was disgusting what was going on. All right, you had everyone getting into real estate around here. So the flippers in '07 took Romex, and all the outlets on the second floor have about 2 to 3 feet of Romex, and then they nutted into the knob and tube. So basically they hit all the knob and tube. It looks like there's Romex on the second floor, but there's not. So this is a complete rewire. And I know I get questioned on how to rewire knob and tube, and it's hard to give an answer because every house is different. So what I do for this home is different than what I'm gonna do for another home. But the premise is the same. You're remediating all the knob and tube and you're replacing it with Romex. But different methods are used for each occurrence, all right? I'm coming up on almost 100 homes rewired. It might be a little bit more if you want to include the smaller row homes. But if you look at, single family homes, I'm coming up on close to 100 here. So my methods, I have 3 different styles of rewire, and this is one of them. There's a lot of outlets on the second floor that need to be rewired, as well as the first floor outlets. The first floor outlets we can get from the basement. The second floor outlets and switches, that's a little bit more complicated. So let's take a look at what we have going on here. So let's see, this is the front door, obviously. All right. And this is our nice channel. So when you channel, you're actually able to drill through joists and then patch it a lot easier, okay? So it depends on how many wires we're doing and what we're doing. This one we can channel, all right? So the windows are protected. We don't want to have to clean blinds for 2 days, wiping every blind down. And this is where we're finding splicing onto the knob and tube. All right, so tuck the ground in, and there's the knob and tube that they're splicing into. Oh yeah, these guys are pieces of work. All right, so here's our kitchen. All right, behind here has been renovated, so we don't need it to bring dust all over it. All right, and distribute the dust even more. So we have a wall. And then this is the kitchen. The fridge we partial protected because this fridge still needs to be able to vent itself. All right, so you don't want to cover a fridge up 100% if you plan on keeping it on. Now this particular rewire, we have no floor protection down. They're planning on removing all the carpet and they're gonna restore the hardwood floors. So with the sanding and the removal of the carpeting, lead protection is not needed. And the customer actually asked for that too. We did offer a lead-free environment, and because they're doing restoration work in the home, we don't have to provide floor protection. All right, so let's look at these. So there's our Romex, but it goes right down to the knob and tube. Same thing here, as well as here, as well as here. Obviously, there's more outlets than a standard knob and tube remediation because they added outlets and then just tapped into it in between the floor levels and the ceiling. So check out this little handiwork here, all the way down to the first floor. The HVAC. So again, it's a flipping house. The flippers did a lot of things in here that you wouldn't really want done. They took the original heating system that didn't have any vents on the second floor and then made vents. They popped through the drywall, drilled down below, and basically created a forced air system to the second floor. So the HVAC company is going to come and figure out how to deal with that. We're just doing the electric because that's what we do. We're electricians. We're not HVAC people. But it is nice. It's nice to see that this is all getting fixed. But it's a shame that flippers come in and do this work kind of stuff to, like, the house is gorgeous. It has some really nice woodwork. But the flippers, like the renovation in the kitchen's horrible. The tile work is horrible. Like, you can tell it was flipped. It's not hard to tell when you start looking into things. All right. Even right now, even the carpet the way it is, you can tell it's cheap carpet. All right, then they're running cable under it, and all in all, just bad news. So here's the knob and tube that we found. Okay, it wasn't really hard to find it. You know, they didn't even attempt to hide the three-way system because I know they would have gotten lost in that. It looks like they just attempted to hide all the outlets and you know, it does make sense. Back in 06 and 07, you could sell a house as is real quick compared to now with all the inspections that got caught. But back then, it's most likely that wouldn't be caught. All right. So this house kind of had a double whammy here. We had the flipping guys that hid the knob and tube, and then we had a handyman homeowner that went and redeviced all the outlets and didn't secure the outlets correctly. So I know he didn't put his own family at risk on purpose. Okay, it was probably a complete accident, but it still doesn't negate the fact that he did it. Okay, he still put people in harm's way because he shouldn't have been redevicing outlets. It's not what they know that is dangerous. It's what they don't know that is so dangerous. And that's something that people need to remember about that. When you start playing with electric, how little you know versus how much you don't know, it can get really scary at times. All right. So day 2, we're finally opening things up. We're going to start, hopefully we'll start running wires before the end of the weekend. It's Friday. Enjoy your Friday night. I'm going to be working here. Thanks for watching. Take care.